morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and today Eitan and I are discussing how to connect to windows in time. And this is an especially powerful week in the Kabbalistic calendar. So we thought it's also a perfect opportunity to share with our listeners the intention and the consciousness behind Weekly Energy Boost in general, not only specifically for the opportunities of this week, but how it is that we derive the weekly topic, where these understandings come from, and how we can use those understandings to serve our bigger picture spiritual growth and elevation. A lot of times I hear from listeners, this week's episode was exactly what I needed, or you spoke to me personally, and it's not a coincidence. The way that we work and this not only for the podcast itself, but in general in our teachings and our work with people, it really is based on the unique opportunities that the cosmos provides us with to do specific spiritual work. And in learning those opportunities, you can be more effective in the effort that you put in, or the restraint that you practice, the lack of effort, the composure and the discipline that you put in, so as to see greater fruits not only in your life, but in your own personal progress. And that's why Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast, where we provide our listeners with that wisdom and with those tools to navigate the coming 7 days. We look through Kabbalistic texts like the Zohar to select what we're going to talk about every week. And that's why every week's teachings and tools can help you really any time of your life. Specifically, this week, we have multiple influences. We have the weekly energy that comes specifically from the Torah portion of the week, which is the portion of Miketz. And in general, the way that the wisdom of Kabbalah is structured is that it takes those weekly readings from the Old Testament and breaks down the codes and the secrets and the hidden meaning behind the stories that we may have grown up hearing, that we may study every week from the Bible, from the Torah itself, and gives us life lessons and clues into how we can be more connected in our own lives to the energy, to the light of the Creator. There's also the idea, and we look at the Kabbalistic calendar as a way to measure energy, not to mark time. We have the Gregorian calendar to mark, soon January 1st is coming and we're going to start a new calendar year. The Kabbalistic calendar helps us measure energy. And we're in the month of Sagittarius, which we've spoken about, is a really expansive and powerful month for tapping into the energy of miracles. This Wednesday night is the beginning of the cosmic window that we call Hanukkah. And we'll get into that in a minute as well. This week also contains, within the week of Hanukkah, and the truth is it falls, we'll have the opportunity to talk a little bit about the new moon next week, but the week of Hanukkah also contains the new moon of Capricorn. So this is really a three-prong influence on us, and we want to get into how and why that works. But what's really the most important thing to remember for this week specifically is that we're accessing that gateway that you almost think of it like a spring of energy that pops up, from which we can draw the energy of miracles, not only for this week, but for the entire year. So as we talk about how to access windows in time in general, we want to focus on the window in time of this week's energy, the window in time of the holiday of Hanukkah, and the one I think that we're most comfortable with or most aware of is the new moon energy, which we talk about every 4 episodes, every 5 episodes, about planting new seeds and how especially powerful that is with the influence of Hanukkah as well. So as a starting point, the Kabbalists teach, and then I'm going to hand it over to Eitan to take it away. The Kabbalists teach that any holiday that we encounter in the Kabbalistic calendar, which is the Hebrew calendar essentially, is not a commemoration, which, we just celebrated Thanksgiving. We celebrate in the United States things like that, the 4th of July, Independence Day. Every country has its Independence Day. We have New Year's Day, right, that's coming up. So there's certain holidays that mark an occasion, right, that we are remembering the War of Independence or the freedom that our forefathers created, or the breakthroughs in our history. The Kabbalistic calendar is, again, that measurement of time. So when we have a holiday on this calendar, it's not a commemoration. What we're doing is we're literally tapping into the same energy that allowed whatever event took place in this window to manifest. So that's a really important understanding for us, because the Kabbalists were very clear. It's not about historical events. It's not about remembering what happened thousands of years ago. What happened thousands of years ago was a miracle beyond any stretch of imagination. There was a military miracle. There was literally mind over matter. Physical things were behaved against nature. And that was simply because of the timing. And we can access that same window that allowed those miracles to take place then in our own lives today. So, Eitan, maybe it's important to also share and reveal, expose the difference between how we understand the force of miracles through the Kabbalistic lens versus what maybe conventionally, or the dictionary definition of miracles.
Absolutely. So first, I want to share that Rav Berg always said, the cause of anything real in our life never stems from the physical reality or historical event. So like you said, we're not celebrating Passover because the Israelites left Egypt exactly in that date, and we're not celebrating Hanukkah because the Maccabees that overcame the Greek Empire in that particular day. No, there's a cosmic opening in an unseen metaphysical world, and that's what Kabbalah is about, educating us about the cosmic opening beyond astrology and beyond intellectual, that manifests itself as well physically. So that's an important. Yes, so let's speak about the cosmic opening for miracles. The month of miracles, and specifically Hanukkah, these 8 days that's starting this coming Wednesday night. What does it mean? Again, there's many aspects to miracles. I'll speak about few of them, and I'll speak on the fourth aspect of miracle, is that's what we want to access, literally. If you connect in a proper way, in these 8 days, you want to see, to experience more miracles in your life. So let's start first, what is a miracle? Actually, we start with the first level. The first miracle of life is all the blessings that we take for granted. They're all miracles. Somehow, our mind has a tendency, whenever I have something for a while, it becomes normal, and anything new and exciting beyond logic become miracles. Actually, the fact that we woke up in the morning, it's a miracle. What does it mean it's a miracle? It's beyond my control. It's a gift from the endless universe, from the source, from the light. So this is something, in order actually to open ourselves for the fourth level of miracles, which is Hanukkah is about, I need to begin to appreciate this. Everything in my life is a miracle. I cannot take it for granted. Then the Zohar tells us, every day, miracles happen to all of us. We've been saved and protected from issues, from stuff, from viruses, from sicknesses, from accidents, from death, that we don't even aware of. The miracles that we are not aware of, that's the second category. The miracles that we are not even aware of. And that's something, the fact that you know, wow, I'm open for that. Because Kabbalistically, this constant war in the unseen dimension between the positive angel, negative angels, and through our own actions, we're affecting it. So as to be appreciation and openness for this miracles as well in our life. Now, I will go straight to the miracles of Hanukkah. The other miracles, after you appreciate the first two, is the miracles that blessings, strength, help, manifestations are manifested in our life beyond logic, beyond explanation, beyond what our mind tells us it is possible, beyond possibilities, in a miraculous way that I couldn't imagine. So that's the question. First, how do we access that? And what's the connection to Hanukkah? And what's available? And we know the Creator is endless. We know intellectually everything is possible, but we still most of the day don't experience miracles. So how can I access that dimension that everything is possible, especially all year round, but especially in these days when you plant the seeds to have this consciousness for the whole year? So what would be the first step to access this dimension, would you say, Elisheba?
Well, I think what we're talking about right now, this acknowledgement that I need or I want to develop my connection to the light of the Creator. I want to have a closeness and a trust on the level that when I need a miracle, I can call on it. I have that awareness, and I think that this is one of the most beautiful teachings in the wisdom of Kabbalah, is that humanity, in contrast with the other kingdoms, with the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the inanimate kingdom, humanity has the ability to draw light into the physical reality. Just because we don't feel a greater availability of light, a greater access point, that a window is opening up or closing, doesn't mean it's not there. And the understanding that the teachings of Kabbalah give us, that there are times where we can access greater light. It's all the light of the Creator, right? If it's light of miracles or light of healing or anything else, it's all different frequencies of the light of the Creator. But the fact that I have a greater ability, or I have the ability to access a greater light in these 8 days than at any other point, there is that sense of, I don't know if the right word is excitement, but it's like that awe that it's not only I can do this, I have the ability to do this. I have the responsibility to do it. The fact that in Kabbalah we learn that things don't happen by coincidence, that there aren't mistakes or accidents, that I am in charge of my connection to the light of the Creator, and I can strengthen and develop that connection. I think that's the first point, because there's a lot of people out there that have been lighting candles for Hanukkah for decades and have yet to experience the quality of connection and experience of the light that we're talking about today. So first of all, I think it starts with a shift that I have a set of keys in my hand, and I can use one of these keys to open a specific door to allow in greater miracles into my life. Not just the everyday, not just the unseen, but literally the dramatic turn of events in my favor kind of miracles that we wish to see in our lives every day. So part of it is realizing I'm the tool. It's my consciousness that determines if I'm doing something robotically, automatically, even begrudgingly out of obligation, or if I'm doing this action, which again, I may have done all my life, but I'm doing it with an intention to draw the light of miracles into my life. The same light that caused those miracles thousands of years ago, I have the ability. I am the same kind of channel or conduit that allowed that light of the Creator to be revealed. Then I can do that for myself and for the world right now.
Beautiful. So based on what you're saying, I would say that all year around, there's a miraculous dimension available. It's there. In the unseen reality, in the hidden reality, metaphysical reality, in every moment of each human being in this world and for the whole world, there's a parallel dimension that's the best miracle that you need. You don't necessarily even aware that you need it, is available in this very moment. Our goal in life is to be able to access this dimension and to bring it down to our life, because we are living one version of my life, which is limited comparing to the real potential, which is the miraculous dimension of my life, with more strength, with more love, with more magic, with more blessing, with more abundance, with more spiritual strength. It's there already. Because Kabbalistically, we say the future is already in the present. Now, in Hanukkah, the fact that, when you light these candles, lighting the candles is not symbolic, it's an antenna, also through the specific mantras and blessing that we are reciting, is to access this elevated dimension and to bring it down into our life. So the fact that my heart is open to access it, and I'm injecting certainty that I'm actually doing it. But what do you mean? It's too good to be true. I'm just like, it's a cosmic opening. I'm dialing that metaphysical dimension. Now, more consciousness about it. That dimension of miracle, the Kabbalists call it the hidden light. The hidden light. What does it mean? Usually when we are going through tough moments, or moments of fears, or moments of weaknesses, of moments of darkness, of moments that I have no patience to deal with this tough journey, our mind tells us, I need an exit from what I'm going through right now. I need a miracle tomorrow. I need a miracle in an hour. What's the Kabbalah saying? The areas that looks the darkest, that you have no patience for, that consciously or subconsciously we're running away from facing, are hiding within them this hidden dimension called miracle. And what we want in Hanukkah is not just, let me dial the energy of miracle. No, what we want in Hanukkah is the spiritual strength that every time I'm facing my fears, instead of fixing it and getting rid of it, embrace it. Fear means the mind tells me there's no light here. My spiritual mind tells me, I'm afraid. It's okay to go through this process. Feel it, but no. There's a greater light by you just facing it. Or you're going through a very tough situations in your life that makes you feel hurt and make you feel insecure. Allow yourself to feel the darkness, because within that, then open yourself for the strength beyond logic to come in right there when you the least expect the energy of miracles come from. That's what you need to be willing to go. For example, the Maccabees 2,500 years ago, when there were a few hundreds against an army of 100,000 Greek, they were scared. They were afraid. Many people fled and ran away of the Israelites. But this group of people says, you know what? We feel fear. But as we are present with our fear, we feel the light of courage, the light of miracle, especially when our intention is pure, which is to maintain the spread of spirituality. That was their cause. So because they're connected in the midst of darkness, Of course, it has to be pure intention. It cannot be just selfish agenda. Then what they derive is the hidden light to become revealed, and the few overcame the many. So that idea, spiritual, the miraculous consciousness means whenever you face darkness, whenever you face fears, whenever you face insecurity, whenever you face weakness, whenever you logically, there's no way out from the down feeling or reality that you're going through, there's a hidden energy of miracle. And the only way to access it is by embracing what you're going through, that dark, and inject that consciousness. Energy of miracles here. How can I access it? I'm open. The Creator, I know you're here. Try to help me to do something much more amazing coming. Instead of focusing how bad it's going to be, miracles are happening. And the courage to face the present moment, that it's the last thing I want to face because it's dark, is what allow me to access the hidden light, the energy of miracles, and to download into my life.
So you spoke before on a practical level about lighting the candles. And there's a beautiful teaching about the importance of lighting oil. At least in America, it's very common to light wax candles on Hanukkah. We learn from the Kabbalists that part of the miracles, there is a unique quality, a unique light that's revealed when we burn olive oil. So I think it's a departure from what most of us, even, what you see in store windows and things like that. It actually part of, and this is again a bigger picture conversation, every window in time has its unique tools and technology that help us access the specific light of that window in time. So we spoke, a few months ago about another famous window in time, another famous holiday called Rosh Hashanah, where one of the main tools is the shofar. Now, you can blow the shofar, which is a ram's horn, any day of the year. But on Rosh Hashanah specifically, those 2 days, it has a unique power to help us access the unique light of Rosh Hashanah that we can only access in those 2 days, and we can only access using the shofar. In Hanukkah, it's a similar specific key that we use to unlock that hidden light, that realm of miracles, the access to the realm of miracles, using olive oil and a wick to light those candles. Specifically, as Eitan said, we have specific prayers that we say that are, again, tools, codes that unlock those gates. And the Kabbalists also teach, and when I learned this growing up in America, I was also kind of not shocked, but really turned everything I understood previously on its ear, is that in order to really access the light in a meaningful way, this light of Hanukkah and the light of miracles, we need to sit near the candles for 30 minutes, to sit near the lit lights for at least 30 minutes. Why is that?
30 minutes, yes. Why 30 minutes?
So does I don't want to limit. If you want to stay 3 hours, and your candles will keep burning.
Yes, you can stay long. Because again, there's many explanation, but I'll try to get to in a very simple way to it. Imagine you decide you're gonna jog, and you say, you know what? I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to do it for 7 minutes. Are you actually become present with the jogging, with what you do? Are you really become open for the moment? It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to repetitively do something that you become fully present. You leave what you came from, and you're not in touch with what happened. So that 30 minutes It's actually to bring myself to that state. You're in front of the candles, maybe you're saying something, you're in front of the candles, and you actually getting yourself to this dimension of elevated dimension, as you said, Elisheva, the idea of olive oil. Olive oil represent Kabbalistically the light of the Creator. And the whole idea, you're not supposed to think about the Greeks, and you're not supposed to think about actually the most elevated light of the Creator is available in these days. Just to explain, beside the main candle, every night we light one candle, and in the last night of Hanukkah, 8. Altogether, if you're adding, is 36 candles. In the Torah, how many times you have the word light, candle, lights, altogether? Exactly 36. 36 is the code number that connecting us to that hidden light and the whole purpose of life, that the hidden light will become revealed. And in these 8 days, the hidden light of miracles, when you connect to it, you have miracles. When you connect to it, you have prophecies. When you connect to it, you can heal people. When you connect to it, you develop natural love thy neighbor as yourself. When you connect to it, you push away the forces of chaos. When you connect to it, you push away fears. So it's interesting in one of these holidays that the only thing is to sit and to look at the light. But you need to transcend your consciousness from looking at the physical light to actually imagine that light that is the source of everything, but is hidden and concealed and not yet manifested in our life. So it's not just waiting 30 minutes, it's actually getting to this dimension that you're so present and you would love to stay even more. One of the indications that I'm connected to Hanukkah is say, I want to sit even longer here.
Totally. And I think it's also, in a really beautiful way, the holiday of Hanukkah often falls within this week that we spoke about. I mentioned in the beginning, this energy of the portion is called Miketz, and it's also connected to, I like the word transcending, right? That the one person, the literal story is taking us through, it's about Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat fame and his process, which was very much about being in a very dark place and yet somehow connecting to the light that's concealed in the story and experiencing ridiculous miracles as a result. Like darkness, miracle, darkness, miracle, darkness, miracle. And it often coincides, almost not every year, but almost every year. Hanukkah falls either in the beginning, the end, or the middle. Miketz falls in the beginning, the end, or the middle of this week of Hanukkah. So is there something additional that we can draw because they coincide together this week?
Yes, it's very powerful because the story of Joseph is so many unfair things happened to Joseph. Externally, it looked unfair. His brother almost killed him. Then they decided to sell him as a slave. And then things have been good. He's been liked in Egypt. He worked for one of the ministers of Pharaoh. Then the wife of that minister tried to seduce him. And then when he ran away, he was accused for trying to rape her. And then he was sent to jail for 12 years. And from that, actually, he was pulled out of jail by Pharaoh and became the co-leader of the entire Egypt. But what was the consciousness of Joseph through all these unfair incidences, include being in jail? I know that the light of the Creator is with me, especially when it appears unfair and doesn't make sense. One of the indications you have great assistance from above when things don't appear fair and they don't make sense. That's based on the revealed picture of reality. Whenever the revealed picture of reality doesn't make sense, is unfair, it means the hidden light is shining at us in a huge, powerful way. Soak it in. You can focus on the unfair story of life, or you can focus as, yes, it appears unfair, but I rather get deeper and open my heart and my soul to access this. I know there's this tremendous energy of the Creator shining on me, because it's always shining. When you see it, it's beautiful. When you don't see it, it means there's a greater light shine. And that's the connection. Because in this weekly portion, right at the beginning of the portion, is elevated from darkness to light. So the miracle is revealed.
It's so beautiful that just the whole week is pushing us toward greater awareness that in times of darkness, there is greater light. That our natural tendency to look at something that's a burden or a challenge or a blockage, to dread it, to fear it, to wish it will be over, that will shift our perspective into understanding this, whatever I'm facing or I need to deal with, is not only my next level, but a greater experience of blessings in my life and in the world. So that tendency to get it over with quick, or to seek relief from it, or want to fix it quickly, I think that's part of the lesson of Hanukkah, is connecting to it is so simple, so easy. Strike them, light a candle, light the lights, and be. And we don't have to do anything else special. Our lives continue as normal, right? You do what you got to do. And then at some point in the evening, you make the effort to do that connection. It's always there. It's always accessible. And in times of darkness, that light is even more accessible. To use those times to rise above and not to let it shrink us or diminish us or make us feel less. It's such a fabulous week, and I'm so glad we could take the time to share with everyone. Last thoughts you want to share?
Last thoughts is, what is the reason we have to light the candles of Hanukkah only at night? Because the greatest miracles are hidden within darkness, within concealment.
So true. And let's all remember that this week. Going into next week, we'll talk more. Hanukkah continues all the way for 8 days, starting on Wednesday night. So we have the opportunity next week to share more about it, but especially focusing on the new moon, the months to come. And of course, next week includes the Gregorian New Year. So we'll share more about that in next week's episode. Weekly Energy Boost is available on our podcast platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can follow us on those platforms to receive more content to support you in living what we share in every episode. You can also visit our website, weeklyenergyboost.com, and click the donate button there to support our podcast. But the best way to support us is really to share this episode. Anyone you know who has an inkling about Hanukkah, who might be celebrating this week, share the episode with them, help them to increase the light that they reveal while they're making their connections. And we'll see you next week for Weekly Energy Boost.